Hello, I'm Mark van Leeuwen, welcome to my channel. And today I wanted to show you something I'm really excited about. Last April Skybound had these special or silent missions. Which I think were great. I am really a fan of the silent missions. I did some silent missions of my own. So I have Jinx, I have Spirit, and this is Roadblock. There are my adaptations translated to my own continuity. I want to do part 3 as well with Duke, but that will take some more time because I'm using only stuff that I already have, so I'm not making special diorama pieces for these missions. The books are also smaller than my normal coffee table book sizes. These are, I think, A5. I don't think I will do Beachhead because that story was way too complicated to translate to diorama story. But yeah, let's take a look. So first up is Jinx, and like in the comic, I do a countdown. I had to change it to 23 seconds because I am using a piece from, I think it's the Ultimates Zartan from Super 7, which came with this bomb from the episode Countdown for Zartan, and it's set on 23 seconds, which is fine because it's very usable, and I could use those extra pages to give my own twist on the story. Sometimes when you have dioramas, you need more space to tell the story than you could in a comic. So it's fine to do so. And yeah, what a fantastic diorama piece this actually is. Coincidence, I'm not a collector of Ultimates, but I am a fan of Zartan, so I collect Zartan figures. And this is perfectly for the story. Also, I use a Rattler. In the comic it was a Night Raven, but I really wanted the aesthetics with blue in the background and the figures in red. So I thought, a Rattler would be better. Also, for practical reason, the Rattler is smaller. So I really wanted to have an overview of the Rattler as a whole. While you in the comic you see only parts of the Night Raven. Well, you see 22 seconds is already something which differs a bit from the comic, although this and that is seen in the comic. So here comes the Crimson Guard. And then, of course, he presses the alarm and she throws her sword, for which I used cardboard pieces to have that effect of... And she hits him. So, there it is. I used also the red cardboard pieces. It's from packaging. I'm not sure where I got it from, but I thought it would be cool to change it a bit, so to have that same look and feel of that terrific well-drawn comic. So yeah, there you have it. The Crimson Guards come in, and this fighting scene is actually copied from the comic as much as I could. I don't know if the red is actually meant to be blood, but yeah, again, I thought it was so cool just to use this. So the next page, the 16 second, I have the weapon of Darklan, because I don't have a weapon that looks like what they use in the comic, but I thought this was similar, with the difference that it can be wielded by just one. She makes a jump onto the stairs to escape, and this jump again is again taken from the comic. I actually suspect that Danny, the one who I want to say wrote this, but actually created this, drawn this because it's a silent mission, so there's not a lot of writing in a way with words. But yeah, I suspect that she actually used the figures themselves to pose them, because their poses are normally, you cannot replicate poses with the toys as much as what you see in comics, but in this case, here's another example. It's actually, yeah, I can come very close to what you see in the comic. This one as well. Yeah. So 12 seconds. There she meets the Night Creeper, and this I really love because Night Creepers are not often used in media. This is my childhood one, so this is perfect to give him, yeah, to show him off. I really like it. So at 10 seconds she hits him, he checks his hand because he has blood on it. Then he kicks her. So this is different than the comic, but I wanted to have him kick her. I don't know. It just I thought it was cool. She stands up, and then this scene where on second 7, where the other Crimson Guards find the one who pressed the alarm. I like it actually because somehow, even though they don't have eyes, I mean their helmets cover up their faces, you can still get a lot of expression and a sense of communication out of them. At 6 seconds something starts on the roof. First time I could use this one, the classified bunker. So, and here again, you get a lot of expressions out of these Crimson Guards, and it has mainly to do, I think, with the fact that the visors have a bit of an angle. What you say? They're drooping down. Is that correct English? I mean, they have a bit of a sad smiley. It's a bit of a sad. So I think it works somehow. And also the lightning suggests that there's an eye, which I love. So fight is going on, he attacks her, and this is also different than in the comic, but she stakes him with her weapon, not with a sword, because this I wanted to use that weapon. I don't know the name. Maybe you can help me out. At 3 seconds, they are doubting which one to cut. So, which is nice because, of course, this is set on 23 seconds, but by hiding the two, it actually makes sense. It's so nice. It's terrific diorama piece. So here, 2 seconds, she runs away, and this is where I also differ from the comic. I mean, at 2 seconds in the comic ends. She already jumps off the building, and it leaves in the middle whether either they cut the wrong cord, so it's cut short at 1 second, or they were just too late. In my case, they're just too late because I needed that extra second to have her jump off the roof. Which of course ends in the end page, where you see the explosion behind her. And that's Jinx. So credits due where they belong, of course. Thank you, Dani, I hope I have your name right, and Dan Waters. I really love this story. I think it is really cool. I think the comic is excellent. So there's a lot of love that went into it, and also in my story, my adaptation, I can tell you a lot of love went into this. I really enjoyed making this. So next up is Spirit. This story is, or my adaptation is way different than what you see in the comic, and that has to do with the fact that I don't have a robot with a bear inside, or something that resembles a biological. I don't know what's going on with that robot, but it's I don't have it. So I thought, why not use this story to introduce the different Transformers that I already used for years in my continuity, and make this their introductory storyline. Some recent additions, here you see the Ravage that came with Soundwave, but in my continuity this is Hullback, and Hullback is a blue repaint of Ravage if you look up on TF Wiki. So she's a Decepticon girl. In this case she escaped. In my continuity, the war between Decepticons and Autobots is over. It's I guess I'm stuck at where IDW left off. I find it really intriguing. I incorporated the entire Lost Light More Than Meets the Eye saga written by Jim Roberts into my own continuity because I really love that. So that's where it's at. This figure is made from different parts, mainly from the Hero Factory Witch Doctor from, I think it's 2010 or 2011. He's called Lord Gallows. He's a mad scientist, and I have him, well, I think from the beginning, so that would be 2010, 2011, something like that. So yeah, Hullback is fleeing. Spirit, and a character which is unnamed or unknown in the comics, but in my case it's Sparrow, a custom that I made out of the body of CoverGirl with the head of one of the Super 7 Reaction 5 POA female characters. So this is Sparrow and Spirit, and they have an Awe Striker that just broke down. So deliberating what to do, and then I suddenly hear this noise, and Hullback jumps out, scared, defensive, but Spirit being Spirit, even though it's not a biological creature but a technological based Cybertronian, he can make her at ease. So yeah, she feels safe with him, and he explains to Sparrow, I need to check this out. This Cybertronian creature was very scared. I want to know what's going on. So he calls upon his pet, Freedom. I don't know if it's his pet or really his friend. I think Freedom, as the name says, is just a bird which he connects with, but most of the time Freedom is really free, doing his own thing. And he checks with the bird and asks him, can you check what is going on and guide me through the forest? In my continuity, Spirit is more of a beastmaster. I have several stories in which Spirit actually looks through the eyes of Freedom by connecting with him. So he's not just talking to animals, but he can see through their eyes, he can hear through their ears. It's a bit of magic, but in my continuity, magic is a thing. So after the movie Beastmaster, I incorporated that into my play. Already for a long time, and it hasn't changed. So here they discuss plans, and of course, while Sparrow carries Hal back to the Awe Striker, even though the Awe Striker has broken down. Freedom flies away. To search for the answer. So the next pages are taken from the comic again. So maybe I can make it sharper. Spirit checks a cut down tree. Some markings on the tree. You see him from above, and I really like the canopy that it actually reflects on the ground. I did it by having a light above the canopy, of course. These are plastic trees, but they are large enough to be in scale with the figure. So, and here I differ from the comic as well. Spirit, on his own effort, finds the base, which in my case is a salad bowl. Did he find it because of his tracking capabilities, or maybe he's using the site of Freedom? I leave that in the middle. Freedom is around there, and Freedom will come back further on. In the comic, Freedom comes back earlier and actually guides him to this base. But I thought it was a confusing scene because he is startled, of course, because he's tense, but he's startled by his own friend. I didn't like it because, yeah, he is so alert and he's a tracker. I can't imagine him being startled while he's doing his job, especially when it comes to friendly, well, animals. It felt out of character to me. So he goes inside. I like what I did with the lighting. It's in this case a Cobra base because I don't have revenge stuff. There is no revenge toys and stuff. So this is just a Cobra facility where they experiment, where Lord Gallows experiment on other Cybertronians, because again, Cobra and the Cybertronians, or some Decepticons, not all, are working together. So he finds some crippled bodies from other Cybertronians, movie Ravage and movies Scorponok, but yeah, they could be everything. I really like this. The death face of that Cybertronian, and the screw, which was not meant to be his eye, but it looks like an eye. I like it. So, Spirit finds this long hallway and a door to what is called Sector 7. And behind the door, instead of the beast finding him, we see Lord Gallows in the midst of torturing Bumblebee, actually. Bumblebee has fainted. He's not alert, but is getting mocked by Lord Gallows. Lord Gallows, by the way, is fully posable. And that part on his back even moves. I can make that move. So Spirit gets in, and of course all parties are surprised to see each other. So Lord Gallows fires some greenish goo at Spirit. But Spirit is fast and dodges the poisonous goo, or so he turns around, aims for the eye, misses a bit, but not by much, which angers Lord Gallows, of course. But Lord Gallows is distracted because who's flying in? Freedom. And Freedom attacks him, going for the eye as well. So Spirit has another try. So he gets the other eye while Freedom does his thing. And again, Lord Gallows fires this gooey green stuff at Spirit. In the meantime, Bumblebee wakes up. Excellent light piping here. I really love this. And Bumblebee noticed that he's behind Lord Gallows and he can get rid of a part of the back, which can double as a weapon, by the way. But yeah, I won't show you that. But because he takes that part away, he can actually access the back. And he tears out apparently what is a very important tube. Because the moment he disconnects it, Lord Gallows gasps for air or for whatever. He uses energon or something. Tries to get rid of the thing that was on his back, but of course, yeah, he already sinks to his knees and falls over. So Bumblebee saves the day, which is fine because this monster was really too strong for Spirit to take on his own. So Bumblebee asks, again, love those eyes, could you please help me down? Which of course Spirit does. So they meet and they become instant friends. So back at the Striker, of course Sparrow and Halbach are waiting, but yeah, they're a bit of in a defensive because they hear but they cannot see yet what is coming. But it turns out to be Spirit and Bumblebee, and Spirit says, no, don't shoot, he's a friend, he's okay. So Bumblebee says who he is, and yeah, maybe he can help out, which of course he can. So he takes one look at the Striker and then decides, I can become one. And what I really like is that they decide to go along with him, but they look so scared. What did we get ourselves into? I mean, those expressions. I don't know. So yeah, that's where my story ends. He drives away and that's it. So again, credits where they supposed to be. Thank you, Leonardo Romero, for this wonderful story. Although my retell is of course different, but yeah, I couldn't have done this story if I hadn't had the original. So second up is Roadblock, and I decided to change the beginning. I really wanted somebody tied up to a fang, like you see in that Sunbow episode, Mind Menace, where a girl with special abilities is tied up to a fang as well, in a similar fashion. And because Lady J is captured, I thought it would be fun to do something similar. I used my Chinese Major Bloods, because this is my childhood one. Also Lady J is my childhood figure. Because he's dressed for the cold. And although I like the original Major Blood better, I think it's fun to see my own childhood Major Blood. So he's bringing her to the Cobra Mobile Command Center. I think this is the vehicle or the Cobra base that I uses the most, but I wanted to show off that it has an elevator. I wanted to show off that it has a helipad, all features that I haven't shown before. So yeah, they're untying Lady J to escort her to the lower level, the second level. And here I have her turn around as if she wants to say, you won't get away with this, or this is not gonna work. Because she knows there's already a plan. Maybe she has let herself captured on purpose, who knows? So, and this is where the story actually begins. I had to come up with different vehicles than they were seen in the comic, mainly because of the main vehicle where they where they hold the captured, where they hold Lady J. That vehicle doesn't exist, so I thought it best to use my mobile command center for that purpose because it has similar doors. It's big, it's nice. I don't have ice snakes, so I use these Battlefield Robots hovercrafts. And this one is from 2009 or 2010, the modern figure age or the modern age. It's an ice cutter. And of course my childhood Cobra Wolf. Looks more yellow than in reality actually. He's not that yellow. It's the lighting. I like how these vehicles have a similar color, so it's cohesive. And this ice cutter is such a wonderful, weird Cobra vehicle. It's more reminiscent of something that you would see in Motu, or because those blades that cut through the ice or grasp the glacier where it's on. They have a real strange way of moving, but I really like it. So behind the trees, Roadblock is watching them. And instead of pushing up trees, I thought it would be fun to have him prepare an explosion. So there are rocks in the way, but since they have a ice cutter, they're using it to cut the rocks as well. Instead of let the rest of the group go to full alert, they just are practical, think, okay, somebody blew something up, maybe it was a mistake, but no matter, we can go through it. But of course it will take time. So these snow serpents are quite relaxed watching the whole thing. Then I thought, but maybe they better could have used the rockets instead. So I let one of the snow serpents point out to that fact. But then the other says, well, we have the cutter and also there is the risk of avalanche. So he points at the mountain, which I show here. So maybe this is all better. They are waiting at a small distance, but apparently not alerted by the whole situation. A close-up from the wolf. And there, this is again from the comic, coming the hand grenades, which blows up the wolf. Now they are alerted. So they climb back on their hovercrafts and the Ice Viper is fully aware of what is happening. So here is the point that Roadblock actually jumps in. This is a custom of mine. It's a polar battle bear, but in colors, cartoon accurate colors. So using the wristband, which all Joes use in season 1 cartoon, he's communicating the whole situation with headquarters. The figure doesn't have a wristband. Really not. But this is something I did as a kid. All my Joes communicated like this. So this is fun. I put it in there. But yeah, of course he's shot by Roadblock. I didn't use version 1 because I have used version 1 in so many of my books. And I've never used version 2. So even though in the comic version 1 is used, I wanted really to use my version 2 Roadblock. Because yeah, I haven't, but it's fun to have him like that. So he kills off the Ice Viper. In headquarters, Wild Weasel is alerted, so he walks away. I, of course, use the interior here from the mobile command center, but just pretend it's somewhere else. I have green light in the mobile command center where they keep Lady J. They have red light. I use the light to differentiate the two, and in the next panel you can see that he's actually somewhere else. Roadblock is having a ball. The drivers are kind of scared, kind of worried. You can see him, the Televiper, grinding his teeth. In the meanwhile, inside, Lady J is doing her own thing. This is something I added, but she has a knife hidden behind her back. The ropes are already loose. And she's smiling like, well, I know what's coming to you. Roadblock, in the meantime, has found the drivers. Has taken care of them. And then, of course, Roadblock being Roadblock, he does some things that other Joes can't. Because he's very strong. He's like a superhero. He gets it a bit hot by carrying up that battlefield robot. So he takes off his coat. And then he climbs up so that he can reach the door of the second level. He rips off the door, only to find Lady J saying, "Hey, what took you so long?" And she's standing on a pile of snow serpents. When they climb down, they look up and they see a rattler coming. It's a wild weasel. And this is the first time I have photographed my complete rattler hanged up by threads in the air, flying in midair. It's, for me, this is a feast for the eyes. It's the first time I could use my rattler. And oh my god, do I love it. So the wheels are actually, they are complete and they are perfectly aligned with the body. Yeah, this is also a shot which I so love. So he fires his rockets. I used the same rockets as in the comic. Lady J sees it. 2 of them explode next to him, but the last one, it got them. So they're recovering. Roadblock is getting something important. I don't know where he got it from. It's hidden somewhere, apparently. But it's big and it's frightful and he will use it. So I have this larger spreadsheet, a splash page, as you will, where they fight off the rattler. And this is so much fun. The smoke, cardboard smoke, but also the fact that you can change, you can change this panel into a panel with holes. I love it so much. So there goes the rattler. Both celebrating, one close-up of Roadblock. It is his story, so it's only fitting. And then here I use a second rattler that I have. One that is broken. He has a broken tail. He's missing parts. But this is excellent to use. For a crashed rattler. So Wild Weasel is coming down, hitting Roadblock on the neck. So this is also taken from the comic, most literally. Lady J is jumping at him, and then he grabs for the knife and is threatening them both. So also these close-ups come from the comic. And here I try to replicate the scene from the comic where Lady J kicks Wild Weasel while Roadblock is going for the legs below, but it looks awkward. It's as if she kicks Wild Weasel and in a domino effect also Roadblock falls down. Here you can see that you cannot do exactly the same things with figures, but still I think it's funny, so I left it in there. Here she climbs up, so to have the jump. So Roadblock is getting Wild Weasel on the shoulder. She gives some directions. And then she jumps, hits Wild Weasel on the head. Yeah, and they celebrate their victory. Splash page to show that it's evening. Northern Lights. And the ending is somewhat different again than the comic. She's just warming herself, but then this Major Blood, who's still out there, shows himself to get her back, but he doesn't know that Roadblock is actually nearby, standing behind him, and he knocks him down with one blow behind the head. And this is where it actually ends. They are drinking their hot chocolate, or whatever you like it to be, and this is just a joke. They offer it to their, I quote, guests, but of course the guests, though they have their hot chocolates, cannot drink it. And yeah, he is tied up way more than Wild Weasel, and that's because Lady J has had her revenge for the fact that he had tied her up in a similar fashion at the beginning of the book. So, there you have it. Splash page at the end. And again, the credits where they belong. I think it's Andrew Krahnke or Krahnke. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. But I can show you where you can find where it's pronounced, because honestly, I had doubts if I would make this into a diorama story until I listened to the podcast Talking Joe, which I'm really a fan of. And they had this Andrew Krahnke as a guest, and he explained so much about the story. And yeah, again, there has been so much love put inside the story that he really got me enthusiastic. So I thought, I'm gonna make it. I mean, yeah. So thanks to him, I now have a Silent Mission of my own. I will put a link in the description below if you're interested to hear the entire interview and all his views on his work. It's very interesting. It's very cool to listen to. So that's it. Thank you for now, and see you the next time. Bye.